What is up, everybody? Thank you for joining this podcast. Whether you're at home, in the gym, in the car, in the bathroom, whatever it is, you're obviously a really cool person, so thank you for that. Once again, this is That Ain't Bad Podcast. I got my boy Jimmy Judge with me to tell some more shenanigans stories we got for the summer, so we're about to get right on into it.
All right, guys. Hey, it's Jimmy again. Rob, thanks for having me back, man. So we got so many stories, and this podcast thing only allows us to do so much. So we're going to try to cram in what we want, but we don't want to leave out the good details of what we've had this summer. You know, we kind of led you up already that we just built this pontoon boat, and we got it finally floating in the water. And so you just got to naturally progress. You know, it's been the best summer, so we got to tell you how we got there. And one of the bigger things that really initiated all this is fire. You know, that's just one of the man's favorite things, just staring at fires in the backyard. Well, we have a fire sitting on our pontoon boat, but we can always go bigger, right? So that's when Rob has the idea, and you'll find out that a lot of these ideas start with Rob, not with me, but I'm the idiot that's like, okay. So he starts spitballing again, saying, man, you know, I want like a hobo fire. I was like, with the drum and everything? He's like, yeah, well, why wouldn't you? I was like, actually, that sounds genius.
Because thinking about it, right? Just thinking about this, when we're sitting around a fire drinking cold beer, Coors, by the way. Coors Light. Or Coors Banquet, whichever.
Yeah.
A lot of Coors.
If we're fluting.
Yeah, Coors, if you're listening to this, I'll drink your beer for free if you want to send it to us for free.
Yeah, please.
We will do it. But I was thinking about it. Hobos, no offense to hobos, they're always by 55-gallon drums.
Yeah.
On fire.
Yeah.
So I thought to myself, that it has to be hot. Because why would a hobo stand around a fire in damn Alaska in a 55-gallon drum if it wasn't hot?
Yeah.
So it has to be hot.
No, it's a solid point. The thing is, we thought about is like, it's got to be a simple thing, right? These are hobos, right? What are they doing? They start a fire and they stand right by it. So maybe they're onto something. We just don't know it.
Yeah, maybe they're way smarter on the fact of staying warm than we are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we got these luxuries of going into a heated house.
Yeah, we're going into our home. These guys are staying outside under a bridge in -5-degree weather, so they need to stay warm.
Now, we didn't need to stay warm because it's still summer.
No, yeah, we didn't need to, but I mean, I just wanted to.
Yeah, we just had to up the game. So, you know, they got thrown out there, 55-gallon drum. Well, where I work, I have them. Now, they used to have fuel in them. They were all filled up with C10 fuel. So that's something you got to be a little bit careful about. But I knew I could procure us a 55-gallon barrel. So every day when I went into work, he was holding me to it. He said, 55-gallon drum barrel. I think I got 30 text messages from one day.
Yeah, he kept ignoring me, man.
No, well, yeah.
No, he did. Don't you lie. You ignored me for about a week.
Well, no, I thought I would remember. I couldn't remember it. My head just couldn't keep that in there. But then one day I found myself staring at this 55-gallon drum barrel with full C10. Well, it wasn't full. It was quarter full. And I was like, you know what? This is the day. So I get a bunch of my other guys that work for me and say, hey, I need to load that barrel up. And of course, they're asking questions. I tell them, shut up. Just load it in the back of the truck and just let it be. Good workers they are. They loaded it up. And then I came home with a big old grin on my face. I said, Rob, look what I got. And he said, oh, son. He says, that 55-gallon drum barrel? I said, yeah. He's like, what's in there? C10 fuel. He's like, is that pretty flammable? Yes, it is. We got to burn it out.
For what you guys that don't know, a C10 is a big old airplane. It's a big airplane.
So we got this high flashpoint fuel, and we got to figure out the way to blow it out. So probably not the smartest way, but we went ahead and opened up and let the vapors get out. You know, we let it cleaned out, and then.
And let's be honest here, we don't know the first thing on what we're doing, but we know that hobos make these fire pits, or at least get these 55-gallon drums and make fire out of them. So it can't be too crazy hard.
No.
So we have a 55-gallon drum that Jimmy finally brought home after about a week, first of all. Keep throwing that out there after I reminded you 30 times. Yeah. And then it was sealed.
Yep. So we had to unseal it. Luckily, though, it has bung holes on it. So we had to release the bung holes, which released the pressure. Now we got to get rid of the fuel. Well, there's only really one way to get rid of it. You just got to burn it.
Well, we also got to get the top off.
Yeah, we do. And luckily, I had a reciprocating saw. So you got fuel, you got a saw that creates sparks, and you got two idiots standing over it just sawing a hole in it.
In the front yard cul-de-sac of a suburban area.
Oh, yeah. Suburban. I mean, there's Lexuses parked out front and BMWs, and here we are, have this 55-gallon drum barrel. We just pulled off the back of the truck. Obviously, it wasn't filled halfway or quarter, because otherwise we'd have blown our eyeballs off. But it was enough that we could open the top, no sparks hit it, had a clean cut.
Very impressive cuts.
Yeah, it was a clean cut all around. We took our time, didn't let the blade get too hot, put oil on it so it kept down the temperature, and then we just let a match go down, and boom, we took care of our fuel.
Quick.
Yeah.
Quick.
So, but we had some quick thinking too. Rob brought up a good point. He goes, I've seen these hobos. I'm pretty sure this thing gets hot. So remember, we were on asphalt.
Yeah.
And we were worried about that. So even when we started, after we got the top off, we realized if we were going to have any heat in there, we had to put this thing on cinder blocks.
Well, I also thought to myself, how are we going to move this thing around?
Yeah.
How are we going to move this thing around?
Oh, the handles.
So I thought of an idea. I was like, I'm going to go down to Taylor's Do-It-Yourself down there.
Yep.
And I'm going to grab two of the square, what are those?
They're just handles.
You know what I'm dang talking about? They're 4 screws. You can put nuts on them. They're threaded handles essentially. So I got these 2 metal threaded handles, 4 nuts and lock washers, and I took a drill and I drilled on both sides while Jimmy was at home taking care of the family.
Yep.
And I drilled these perfect handles that stick out on the side of this barrel. So we're upgraded a little bit from a Hobo fire pit. This is let's call it a suburban Hobo fire pit. Let's just call it that, because this thing's got nice handles on the side of this thing.
Oh no, that was a game changer too, because we were able to move it out. Because, like I said, we had to lift it up on cinder blocks, and anyone knows trying to lift a 55-gallon drum barrel it's not easy. It doesn't go real.
And full disclosure for all you kids out there who are going to go build a 55-gallon drum now, because once again, it's a great idea. When we get more into it, you'll understand how great of an idea this is.
Yeah.
Do not grab the handles with your bare hands.
Yeah, it gets a little hot.
I just want to put that as a disclaimer out there. Put on some gloves or grab something that's not going to burn your hand, because that thing heats up to about 6 billion degrees.
Oh my God. And I would have never believed it until we actually got started. But even before we got it started though, so we have the top off, we took care of the fuel situation in there. It burned off, and it wasn't as much, but it was nice. It burned out real quick. And then we get the cinder blocks and we post it on the asphalt. And then the next thing, we're thinking about it, how the science of this goes, because it needs air. And Rob's kind of like, well, let me do a little research here.
Yeah, if you take the fire triangle, you need fuel, oxygen,
heat,
and heat. So if we have a fire in the bottom of this barrel, where's this oxygen going to flow from the top and come down to, like, it just didn't make sense in our heads.
Yep.
So I was like, do what anyone would do. And that's go on YouTube or Dr. Google and type in, how do hobos make a 55-gallon drum fire pit?
Yeah, it's a great source.
That's exactly what we did. No joke. So we look on there and it says there has to be holes in it. And Jimmy goes, of course, that makes sense, because Jimmy's a little smarter on it when it comes to that stuff than I am. And I'm thinking, well, how am I going to get holes in there? So in my head, I'm like, you take a damn shotgun or a 9mm and just start blasting holes in this son of a gun, because no hobos is grabbing a 55-gallon drum and just drilling perfect, inch holes in this thing.
No.
But at the same time, we can't just go clacking off 9mm rounds in a suburban area, because that's one way to get arrested real quick.
Would have been fun if we could do that, though.
Facts. So we're rolling this barrel around the yard, just poking holes in it with a drill. Drilling holes left and right. We drilled like 4.
Well, hey, remember, once again, I still live a suburban life, so I'm tending to the kids. I have, like, windows that I can come hang out with Rob. I'm like a kid on a leash, I can go out for 2 hours, but then I got to check in, make sure I eat lunch with the family, and then I'm allowed to come on down. So Rob knew what the next idea was. So when I came back down after doing the dad duty, the hole's already done, so it was perfect.
Yeah, so I think I put like 4 on each side of the bottom, so like 8 holes total, which I was a little skeptical about, but I mean, the hobos do it, so it has to work.
Yeah, they figure it out.
And then we put 12 or 16 holes all around the side of the barrel in random places, like if you would shoot it with a 9mm.
Yeah, and it makes sense too. It's kind of like those newfangled fire pits you see people sell with the washing machines that have the holes in them. It makes a cool little fire because it brings oxygen in it. I mean, that's basically the idea it went with. It was going to suck in all that oxygen and just bring that flame up higher. And sure shit, that does work, because once we got those holes in, naturally the next thing is to immediately light this thing off.
You have to. It's just a rule.
But as Rob talked about before, and we said before, whenever you start doing something, especially in a suburban neighborhood, I mean, these guys, they have nothing else to do. They're just like I am. They see something going on, and it's like a squirrel coming out of his hole, and he sees a nut. Like, ooh, I got to go over there. Because we don't do anything. And you see these idiots, 55-gallon drum barrel, Sawzall going around the top, lit a flame off, drilling holes in the side of it, and it's in the middle of a cul-de-sac. you're going to want to see what happens next. And so that's when the neighbors start rolling. And one of our neighbors, our favorite neighbors, I'm sure Rob's going to have on here, James Dean. He came over here and just kind of, what are you idiots doing? And, but he was in. He wanted to see the next thing. And then we have two other neighbors kind of poking their head out the door, and seeing what's going on. So we got wood. It might not be the best wood, but the great thing about a hobo fire is it doesn't matter if it's treated wood or anything like that.
You can burn whatever the hell you want.
Burn whatever the hell you want. And we were lucky that, cut down his crepe myrtle tree down there in the road. So Rob just backed his truck up there and we loaded those things up and put it in there and put a little lighter fluid in there, and off she went. And my God, that thing took flight.
So for any of you guys who know, or any Boy Scouts out there know anything about that on building fires, I actually was a Boy Scout, Eagle Scout actually. Yeah. Always will be an Eagle Scout. But you need to build the proper fire. You need to start with like kindling or small stuff to get it going. You don't just throw logs on there and expect to light it. So the best thing we could do after building this hobo fire pit is go to the gas station and get Coors.
Yeah, that's how you get started.
You have to.
Yeah.
So we bought a 30-pack of Coors Light, which, by the way, Coors, if you are listening to this, you can give it to us for free. We will drink it. I don't know how many times I have to say this. I'm still waiting on the Coors, but anyway. We get this Coors, and we set them in a cooler, and we grab the speaker, and we grab 8 chairs.
Yep.
And we set it around this 55-gallon drum on 2 cinder blocks. And what's the best kindling you can use?
Coors box.
A Coors Light box. So we put a Coors Light box in there to help the flame start whenever we decide to start it. And remember, we have holes in the side of this thing, so you can stick a long lighter in the side of this thing to light it from the bottom.
And that was a perk. We had no idea. We weren't even thinking that way. We were like, wait a minute.
You can stick a lighter in this hole. This is why this is why they do it. It's genius.
Yeah, the lighter too came from my wife. She came running down with it. She saw what was going on, and we're like, "Oh, we need a lighter." And what does she do? She just she's game for this too. She runs straight back to the house, and we're just still not scratching our heads. We're like, "Okay, she's doing something." She comes running out with the lighter. Game on.
Yeah. So now we got a lighter. We got the company. We got half of the whole neighborhood over standing by this fire pit. We have cold beer. We have music.
Yep.
And we got the chairs. The only reasonable thing left to do is light this fire.
Ignite that bitch.
So now that we have the proper way to build this fire, we can start with little pieces of grass that go into Coors Light box, into some smaller sticks, into a big stick. So naturally, we just put the Coors Light box in a bunch of logs and pour in half a gallon of lighter fluid in this thing.
Hey, it works.
Yeah, the minute we lit that thing, it went whoom.
Yep. So yeah, we've gotten some good fireballs out of that sucker, and the heat just started going. And so at this point, it's going. It just started off, but once again, I had to go back. So it's evening time. Rob knows this. I do all the stuff for the kiddos at night. I put them down in bed. That's my thing. I want to have that time with kids because I'm a big family man. I want to go out and play, but I got to take care of the kids. So he knows it, and he's running the fire. So I don't know what's going on. I just run up, and so about 9 o'clock on the dot, it's usually when I get out.
9 o'clock every night when he can come out. 9 o'clock is the time that old man walks out that door.
Yeah, and so you guys just know how bad I want to get back. So I have my daughter in the bath, and she's doing her thing, and I'm looking out whatever window I can just to make sure that barrel is still going and people are still out there and just hoping they didn't get tired of this thing. And finally 9 o'clock goes, I peek my head out, I see a huge orange flame. I was like, yes. So I run on down there, and Rob's sitting there, and next thing you know, I see glass bottles going into this 55-gallon drum barrel. I was like, what are you fucking morons doing? That's not going to melt. You just got a bunch of trash. Rob looked at me and goes, no, you dummy. He's like, that's molten lava right there. This is bullshit. He goes, wait one. And so we had Dalton. I don't know if you guys know about Dalton. What is that Texas tornado, whatever thing he
calls
does?
it damn Texas tornado, whatever the hell it is. And he puts that beer down in 2 seconds.
And we're going to have to get that up on the Instagram. People are going to have to see that. But he puts that thing down so fast to provide us with a show to see what glass is going to do. God damn, he threw that thing in there, and it wasn't more than a minute, and it started melting.
This glass bottle, guys, whether you believe this or not, this glass bottle melted in this fire pit.
Yeah, and it just amazed me. And then the next thought, because I went from, that's fucking awesome, to like, uh-oh, dad mode. I'm like, we're on asphalt right now. Thank God we put on cinder blocks.
We're on cinder blocks.
But amazing, too, that heat travels up. I had my hand underneath it. Yeah, it's hotter than hell, but not enough where it's going to melt the asphalt. Because that was one thing we didn't want to do. This neighborhood here, let me tell you, you burn a... Okay, I'll back this up real quick. Our neighbor's got a pool in. and all the guys drug a lot of dirt all through the road.
Just dirt.
Just dirt.
We're literally talking dirt here, guys.
And the neighbor comes out and approaches the guy who's not doing the work, is everyone else doing the work for him, and he goes, "You see all that dirt on the asphalt?" He's like, "Yeah, they're putting a pool in. What do you want me to do?" And he's like, it shouldn't be here. It looks horrible. Dirt. This guy's worried about dirt. Rain will come and it'll run away.
This is what we're talking about. This is what we're dealing with. And to paint that whole picture, it's me and Jimmy standing around in a flannel and some ripped pants at a hobo fire in the front yard. This is the whole scenario.
Yeah. So that was a concern, but once I realized that we weren't going to burn a hole in the asphalt, because I wanted to continue these good times. We didn't want to end it right then and there. But luckily that thing just was perfect. I mean, the heat that thing put out was just amazing.
But let me tell you something is what's dangerous about this burn barrel. It's dangerous for two reasons, okay? And I'm going to get into both reasons. First reason why this is dangerous. If it melts beer cans and glass beer bottles, what do you think we want to watch?
Yes.
We want to watch it melt. So that just means we drink even more beer, a whole lot of beer.
Hey, we're recycling. We want to be good stewards of that.
Yeah. We're not definitely burning anything bad into the atmosphere or anything like that. It's all, whether you guys know the science of a hobo fire is it recycles back into itself and
natural progression.
Yeah, it's clean fossil fuels. That's what it is. Fossil fuels.
Yeah. Speaking of fuels, this was my favorite too, though, because Rob now has had a couple of beers and he's like, well, hey, I got these tiki torch lighter fluid.
Mom, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, but we had natural progression with that. So he had, I think it was about half a bottle, and it's plastic bottle. And he goes, "What do you think it'll do if we just throw it in the fire?"
I poured it into a beer can.
Well, you did pour it in a beer can because we want to see it pop. But now I'm all about this, and I'm sitting in my lawn chair, and like an idiot, I didn't move back. And I was like, this is going to be awesome. So he fills this thing up to the top. It's coming out the top, and I could smell it, and he just drops it in there, and we're just waiting. And
nothing happens.
No, nothing happens. We're sitting there, and we start seeing a little bit sizzling out. The flame gets a little bigger. But then, I still remember this because my eyebrows, I swear, got thinner that day. Big old boom. And I mean, enough to knock me back in my lawn chair that's well seated. I'm only like 3 inches off the ground, and I flew back just from the heat and pressure of this goddamn thing, and only thing I knew to do was laugh. I didn't move, I didn't run, I just fell on my back and laughed.
And not to mention, if you guys don't remember, there's holes all around this barrel, so fire is shooting out of these holes in this barrel.
It was a goddamn beautiful sight. That's America if I've ever seen it. And in that moment, the one thought that came through my mind is, those hobos know what they're doing.
They know exactly what they're doing.
Dude, that was the best source of heat we've ever had.
And now I'm going to tell you the second worst thing about these things. And this is true, honest to God facts about why these things are dangerous. If I can melt glass bottles, what else can I melt? So now we're melting everything in this 55-gallon drum burning in a cul-de-sac in the front yard.
Oh, man. You just can't even make this stuff up. Anything and everything is going in there. And, of course, everyone's one-upping each other. I mean, you couldn't really one-up the tiki torch fluid. No. And I don't think we want to do that again because just to let you guys know, that was the one and only time we did it in the cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
From then on, we moved it to the backyard.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, it even brought the kid out, and James Dean, my neighbor, he's 67 years old.
Yep.
And that old man at first was like, man, this is, you guys are nuts. Next thing I know, he's tossing random shit into this burn barrel.
He's trouble one.
Yeah, he's wanting to burn random shit in this thing.
Well, he knows that he can get up to when he's done. He doesn't take care of it. He just walks away.
Yeah, he just goes home and goes to bed.
Yeah.
So what does this old man throw into the 55-gallon drum? An M60 firecracker. An M60 firecracker. But, I mean, you guys probably think there's like a climax to this story about the firecracker. No, it actually sucked. It literally just went pop. That was it.
But that's how you learn.
Yeah, I mean, you got to learn. You got to throw things in there to figure it out.
Yeah, that's how we test our limits, right? We've been doing that for years. That's
exactly
how we know what's going to actually happen.
Don't worry, guys. We were wearing ear protection. We were wearing eye protection.
Eye Pro, yeah.
We had everything on, guys, just to be real safe, you know?
Wink, wink. Yeah, sure. No, so we let that thing go, and I tell you what, that thing went for a while, too. That holds some hot embers.
We actually, when we were done with it, about 2 o'clock in the morning, about 30-plus Coors Lights down.
Yeah.
That thing, we took the hose out.
Yes, we
did. And
did.
we hosed the whole thing down. and that thing was sizzling. The barrel was glowing orange, like glowing orange. I'm not even making that up. It's glowing orange.
No, I'm glad we went to put that out too. I'm not saying that thing would have caught fire or anything because it was.
It's safer to put it out though. Let's be honest.
Last thing, well, that I didn't need someone else walking up on it, getting drunk, touching those handles. Those handles.
They'll send your fingerprints off.
Yeah, you'll be gone. You'll be melted to the damn handles.
I mean, if you want to get away from getting fingerprint checked, all you got to do is put your hand on that barrel for 0.5 seconds.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
your hand's gone.
What Jason Bourne would do.
Yeah, that's exactly what Jason Bourne would do. So we pour water all over this thing, and smoke's bellowing out of it, and we try to fill it. Obviously, it's not going to fill up because there's holes in it.
Yep.
But we fill this fire up with holes, with water. I mean.
Yeah.
And then we walk away. And the fire starts right back up.
Yeah, son of a bitch just reignited itself. Now, it wasn't as bad as it was before, but it's to the point where, like, we know it's safe. We threw a little bit of sand in there, I remember, just on the bottom, just not to burn out, and it went back to embers. But I'm not kidding you. So we go back to bed. And anyone that has kids, I'm going to keep bringing this up. I get up about 6:30 because that's when the kids get up, and that's when they get yelling at you for cereal and everything like that, and that's how I roll. So I get up, I'm up, I have a cup of coffee, and then I was like, you know what, I wonder if this barrel's still going. I want to go check on it. Sure as shit, I walk down there with my cup of coffee, and I put my hands over it. It's still warm.
You could stay warm by that fire.
Yeah.
So moral of the story is, if you see a group of people or a certain, group doing something,
don't judge.
Don't judge. Don't judge off the bat, okay? Do not judge, because the hobos, they have to survive. Right? They have to survive.
Yeah.
And they have to stay warm.
They're more better survivors than I am.
That's a fact, than all of us. So if you see a hobo on the side of the street with a 55-gallon drum with a fire in it, just know that dude or woman is warmer than you.
Yeah, and they're making it. They're putting that effort out in there. You just think it's, I always hate those guys. You know what sucks? You have all these people that sit on the street and panhandle, and you can look at those guys, and they're just doing to collect money. I'm sorry, but I think most of them are just using it for drugs or whatever, and just shitty lifestyle. And I know people get down in the dumps. It happens. You just get sideways. And the ones that really do have a problem, maybe have a mental problem, those are the ones that are trying to survive. And those are the ones I see around the hobo fires. Those ones, they have no home to go to, no car to get into. And what was sad is I wanted for that moment to just get like a sleeping bag and just lay by that fire.
Yeah,
I don't know what it was. It's so sad. I wanted their lifestyle. I'm sure if any hobo gets a hold of a radio and hears this, is going to sit there, cuss me out. But dude, that seems so fun for that night. And thank God I can go back to my own house. That's when I realized, how nice I have it.
We don't know how lucky we do have it. So, everyone out there listening, if you obviously have the ability to listen to this, you have a pretty good life too. So we will say, hearts out to all those people out there that are in tough times. But man, they know what a damn fire is.
Survivors.
I'll tell you that. They know how to stay warm. And then if you want to look into it on the good side, they're not out there littering trash on the side of the road.
They're cleaning it up.
They're cleaning up the trash because they're putting it in the 55-gallon drum, and that sucker's burning.
Yeah, there ain't nothing going to waste to them. They pick it all up and it goes in.
Hell no. That thing will burn. You can put anything in there and that thing will burn.
Yeah, I wish we could go down the list, but it'd be stupid. What I really do is I want to challenge more people to do this. Get this in your backyard. It's just a blast to do because it's really simple. You can look on YouTube. We can show pictures of ours and how it was done.
It's a fun project.
Yeah, it's a fun, quick project. We did it in an hour's time, and it really is. It got the neighborhood together, though. Even the ones who were questioning, they came around. Like I said,
Yep.
We had 8 lawn chairs. We didn't have enough. We had neighborhoods that were driving by, parked their car, and came on down just to see what's going on.
Random people we ain't never met before.
Yeah, no, and they were even saying, like, since you guys have moved in, I have not seen life like this ever. We were just bringing back what an old neighborhood used to be. Like, this is what suburbanites used to be like. You would do stupid stuff. Everyone's on the same page. I don't know when we got so, like, uptight and stiff about stuff. And thank God there's no HOA here.
Oh, yeah. If there's a HOA, my ass would be out of here already.
Yeah.
I'd have been long gone, or I've been paying a lot of fines.
I'm still surprised he's here, actually, even without an HOA.
And another fact I wanted to bring up, too. Think about this for all you families out there who are listening or think this is a good idea. I'm not saying you got to do anything dangerous or stupid like we did, but just the fire pit alone with the fire. Think about this. If you have a normal fire pit in your backyard and it's a little bit windier.
Yep.
Like, let's just say it's a little bit windier.
Oh, that smoke.
That smoke is just going to be smoking you out everywhere you go. Let me tell you something about a 55-gallon drum, son. That thing does not put out smoke.
No.
And if it does, it goes straight up. It will not go in your face.
Yeah, it's so tall, and the heat is radiating off the sides that you could be in those low lawn chairs and just have your hands just out there. And, of course, my kiddos are out there. Now, to let it be known, we weren't burning the tiki torches and stuff. My kiddos are. That was just with us. But we did like a family burn in the backyard, and we did use some good solid wood because we didn't want to have all the chemicals in there.
Correct.
And but they loved it because they could be kind of around the fire. They weren't getting close that they're hurt, but they could see it through those holes. And fire, man, you just can't beat that.
No one can beat fire. And then in the colder days, like it snowed down here, and we were standing around it, and it made a ring of warmth. You could just stand there, and it would cover your whole body in warmth.
Yeah, I mean, this is jumping just straight ahead, but just kind of where we are right now. We're in January, at the end of January, and we had what's called a blizzard here in Virginia. We had 6 inches falling on us, and we were all out there in the ring, no snow near us, and we were all just having a good time drinking beers. And it's just so great that you can continue that atmosphere. You're not sitting inside where someone's on their phone. No, everybody had the phone down, and you're just talking. And that's something we've lost too. And that's what I love getting back to with Rob and his ideas. He finds some way just to get more people together. And that's what it's about, dude.
That's what it's about, is just having a good time with friends and family. It don't matter what it is. As long as you're doing it and you're having fun, that makes stories, and that's what we live for.
No, that ain't bad.
That ain't bad. Guys, thank you for joining in on this episode of That Ain't Bad. Like I say from the beginning, it's uncut, raw, unfiltered, unedited, just people like you and me talking, and that's what this is all about. So thank you for listening, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.